So I took a note here on a dream I had the other night.
Oh, yeah?
I had a dream that we did a cool intro to the next episode,
Oh?
and then I realized we hadn't started recording yet, and I got really upset. And that was my dream.
Oh. Oh, boy. Alrighty. Episode 14.
Yes.
If you were listening to one episode daily, you'd have enough to last you 2 weeks. So,
Or one fortnight.
yes, one fortnight.
We did it.
We did it.
We made Fortnite.
Yeah, we did it. We caused the black hole. Chapter 2 is going to be set in Minecraft, because...
Because it's a better game.
Well, I'm not taking a side here, but who's to say?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is the Spooptober episode.
Oh, right. Yeah. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Or terrible Halloween. Have a stinky Halloween. I hope you lightly hurt yourself in a way that isn't detrimental to anything you have planned. Like you get jump scared and you slightly hit your elbow on the table, and your arm goes tingly for a second because you hit a nerve. Actually, I did that with my fingers. I hit something with my hand and then my entire arm went numb.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I it must have been a nerve that's under the knuckles or something, because then my entire hand went numb and tingly. So, that was... It's something like that, where it's unpleasant for 2 seconds, but then you're fine. You get... Yeah.
You're just cursing everyone who's listening to this, but the most light curse ever. Just...
Yeah.
I hope you stub your
I hope
toe.
your coffee is slightly too hot and your tongue hurts for a bit.
Yeah, I hope you burn your taste buds when you sip your tea.
Yeah, or maybe you sit down on your chair too quickly, so you end up hitting your tailbone. Or you stand up too quickly and you have an iron deficiency, so everything goes blurry. And any of these things could happen. But yeah.
Any and all of them.
Yes, it is Halloween. Any and or all of them. But yeah. This will be the Spoopoween episode.
There was a lot of talk of last episode of Sick Boy Wobbles.
Oh yes.
Seems you're perfectly fine
You
now.
probably hear it in my voice and lack of... Actually, I was quite good at muting whenever I was coughing. But yeah, lack of stuffiness and taking of several drugs before recording. That I'm not sick. But yeah, it's been weird. I'm still, I think, just on the tail end, but I think that's just general autumny, wintry stuffiness.
Yeah.
Going outside makes your nose slightly snotty for a bit.
Yeah. I think everybody has that.
Yeah. It's definitely, I think, as I've gotten older, my immune system's gone stronger. Now, whenever I get a cold, it's the ultra deaf colds. I've gone through the mild blowy nose and the mildly sore throat. Instead, I had the headachy, tummy hurty cold that more resembled influenza than a cold. Which
yeah. I mean, by that same logic, I feel like I'm immune to everything now, which I guess is more or less true. I don't get sick very often.
Unless you're not vaccinated.
Yeah. No, I am.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, I guess when I do get sick, I tend to not allow myself to be too affected by it. I don't know.
Right.
Obviously, if it was something major,
right.
It would take me out for a few days, but I can't remember the last time I
I
had
normally
that.
I normally just don't go into depending on how much sicky, like how many fluids I'm producing, and if it's a high amount, I'm most likely not going to because there's a high risk of contamination.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but it was quite interesting because I went off because I was feeling terrible, and then I went back in because I felt slightly less terrible, but because like when you're ill, you forgot what it's like to not be ill.
Mm-hmm.
So anything could have felt better, but But going in, playing, I think, because it was the day where we play football, and it was like raining and cold. My cold got worse, so I had to stay up the next day. And then finally, I felt better, and then was able to go back in. It was a weird week when I was sick boy wabbles.
Mm.
Thank goodness for modern medicine and technology, because yeah. It is weird how that would have been fatal to someone like a millennia ago.
Yeah.
Or so.
Maybe. Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. This is a Halloween episode. We've so far discussed Wobbles wishing injuries upon you and the various sick fluids, I think was the word you
pathogens
said.
and ailments.
Yes.
That should be the chapter name.
I guess we've discussed pestilence, and
Yep.
now we move on to death. No. Famine.
I just had the slightest feeling the whole four horsemen of the apocalypse don't have much to do with Halloween.
You're probably right. Yeah, that's the Revelations. That's not.
I mean, yeah,
Halloween.
I was gonna say if the four horsemen of the apocalypse came every time it was Halloween, we would only have one Halloween, and it would have been a while.
I was gonna say we would have a lot of apocalypses. Apocalypses.
It's like the name of an era in Israel, I think. So, could you have a plural of a place? I guess you could. There's nothing stopping you.
There's a lot of Springfields.
Yeah, you can have. I mean,
they're not really the same though. That would be hilarious if they were. They're all modeled exactly the same.
There's a million Simpson families.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of train wrecks,
yes.
What have we even talked about so far? This is.
This has been the weirdest follow-up / opening section I think we've had so far.
This is what happens when you get an episode a day earlier than you're expecting it to. You know, it's not on the first of the month; it's on the last of the month. And surprise, we've forgotten how to
thrown your
talk
astray. Yes.
I hope you feel bamboozled, perhaps frightened. Probably not. Probably. So these houses.
Yes, the houses.
I mean, there wasn't too much testing done beforehand, so...
Right, because there were only two of us to test it, really.
Yeah, so...
The designer not being a user type thing. I guess maybe we were users, in a way.
At the moment, there seems like there might be a slight flaw in that it's leaning pretty heavily towards House Raccoon.
Right, yeah. But... So we might try, like, not maybe rewriting the quiz or just like figuring out like what the hell is going on.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because I wrote most of the questions that it leans towards, like I made my own answers sound more reasonable than the other answers.
Right.
Or if it's, I don't know. It could just also be that like we have a certain kind of demographic that leans towards one thing, and if we got some listeners that, you know, were more random, or just some people to take the quiz that were more random, maybe it would come out more even.
Right. But it might also just be like how like how the traits of each house line up differently. Like there was like the more introverted, extroverted, and then like the creative kind, and then whatever the other one was.
Like more
Uh,
scientific, I guess.
yeah. Oh yeah, it was more factual and scientific.
Yeah.
I guess there's a couple groups that aren't specifically mutually exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Because even I got doggo with the plus raccoon, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
But yeah. Okay. I have the numbers now. At the current state of things, there are 7 raccoons, 2 doggos, 2 blank that hasn't been named yet, and 1 star that hasn't been named yet.
So 7/12 or just over 50% of the population is raccoon.
Yeah.
Like 50 plus a 7th of 100. No. Anyhow, yeah. So I think it's just like the culmination of all these things has led it to be a weirdly overpowering majority towards raccoon.
Yeah. We haven't actually talked too much about what we're gonna do about that.
Yeah.
We could do like a new. I mean, we did basically advertise the first quiz as beta, so we could just redo the quiz to some degree.
Redo the quiz.
But
yeah, I think once we've got like a quiz up and going, we can talk about what you want to do with it first. Like cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just been interesting developments with the whole thing.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because I feel like it's okay if one house is a little bit larger than the others.
Right, like
but
probably like a 5 4 4 3. Is that maths? No, it's not maths. But like like one house would have 5, another would have like 3.
Right.
Then the rest would have like
Yeah, like it would be interesting to see if a few more people take the quiz and end up in different houses. I think then we might keep it.
But then it's that's why it's tricky because we're not sure if it's just this population size is it's not like if this population size is small and it's a too small sample size or there's something some actual flaws with the quiz. But also it's tricky to field test it because it is in itself about this podcast, which would be tricky to advertise on a wider level.
Right. Yeah.
It's such a niche thing. So, but I don't know. Be interesting to see where this goes though. It's been quite interesting seeing the discourse, like in a way, of the.
I think
the housing debacle.
Certainly the most activity we've had on the MBD. Yeah,
definitely. Well, yeah. But also you should go check out the MBD if you haven't already.
Yeah. Goes without saying. Link in the description.
The doobly-doo. But yeah.
Link in the doobly-doo.
So we gotta do a spoop quiz.
Yeah. Can't believe you didn't transition there. That's gotta be the easiest transition in the world. Speaking of quizzes.
Of course, yes.
Speaking
of trivial things, no.
Okay, so yeah, we didn't really have a plan for this episode other than we need to do a spooky quiz.
Right.
And yet...
But we found one.
Yeah.
And
and yet we waited to Google it like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. Alright, so do you have the quiz open in front of you?
Yeah.
So this turns out this is actually like the Beano comic I thought it was. It's an old I guess like it's not a it's like it was like a magazine, but yeah, it just had lots of comics in. But I have just realised this is gonna be a very I guess British Britboy quiz.
Is it?
Because of its origin.
Mm.
So you know,
That's in theme with the show.
Should we as Philip DeFranco would say, let's jump into it.
All right.
So, question 1. Where does Halloween come from? I guess... So, the options are an ancient festival to celebrate the dead, Father Christmas's birthday, the start of the pumpkin season, or a motorway service station outside of Birmingham.
I'm gonna...
Well, the last one... Oh, okay. I was gonna say, the last one isn't like an actual location.
Is it?
But... like a motorway, like it's
like where it comes
like
from.
It's a physical proposition, but the other ones are I forgot the word, but yeah, it's probably I think the answer is gonna be the first one, but it wasn't to celebrate the dead.
Yeah.
Original Halloween was like, they believed that during the pagan tradition was during harvest time, this evil spirits come out. Like it's a weird time where the living and the dead cross over for a day, so people dress up all spooky like to scare away the demons.
Yeah.
But
that's definitely the closest.
Yeah, but I also like the start. Like it's like not the start of the pumpkin season; it's the end of harvest as well. So we can. So I'm guessing,
So you can eliminate that one
first. Yeah, Father Christmas's birthday. What is it? I swear there has to be a thing.
It is, yeah.
I'm trying to remember what it was.
But it's not on Halloween.
I gather knowledge. So I assume it's an ancient festival to celebrate the dead. Should we let's go for that one then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Nice. We did it.
Yeah, I guess this is one of those quizzes where it tells you
as you go. Yeah. Okay, number 2. Before people used pumpkins, what were jack-o'-lanterns made of? I think it might be turnips because they're
I'm gonna go with onions.
Ooh.
Could be potatoes. It's not bananas.
No, not bananas.
Oh.
Ancient.
If it's bananas, we're just stupid.
Onions.
Well, I feel like we should lock in our answers before either of us click.
Yeah, right. So
I'm gonna go with onions. Are you going turnips or?
I might go turnips.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I don't know, it just feels like it's a more carvable item than an onion.
Oh, but you're right.
Yeah, an onion doesn't have to. Because I think I do know of like. I think there is something you can do with onions that's Spoopoween themed.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's jack-o'-lantern specifically. I think it might actually be because there are well, these are all roots apart from bananas. I just had the feeling that I think turnips are more autumny food. I think. Yeah. So I think I'll go turnips. So.
Oh, I thought you already did. Yeah.
Oh no.
No, it is turnips.
Okay. Yeah. It's turnips. Okay. I was just going over the thing again. Okay, good.
It's like seeing if you can talk yourself out of it.
Yeah. How closely can I tread the line? Okay. Pumpkins come in lots of different colours, but which one of these is made up?
Blue, green, white, glow in the dark.
I know this. Well,
purple.
Green and white makes sense. Glow in the dark purple is oddly specific, so I'm gonna go
blue.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I know they've made glow in the dark. So blue. Oh, what? I was gonna say genetic research feels like it's gone far enough that glow in the dark purple would make sense.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I feel like we're expecting a random online quiz to be brilliant at bluffing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we maybe overthought that one.
I've seen, right. Because I've seen purple pumpkins, but I guess blue isn't that much of a stretch. But okay, where is Transylvania?
Romania.
Or is it in Pennsylvania? No, is it Romania?
The options here are Hungary, Scotland,
Romania, nowhere it's made up. No, because it was written by what's his face? That one, the guy, one of the
Stoker. Are you talking about Dracula?
Yeah.
He didn't write Transylvania.
No.
He just wrote it into existence.
He's
It's like that
walked
Inkheart
somewhere in the
book
middle
or
of
something.
Eastern Europe. Yeah. Like Life Note.
Hmm.
That you can build things using your book. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I swear it's based off an actual place in Eastern Europe. That's where all the big heck-off abandoned castles are. So,
I'm fairly certain on Romania.
yeah. So, yeah, I'll go to Romania as well.
Okay.
So, yeah.
We're collaborating here.
Yeah, this is... Okay. Oh, yeah, Romania.
Yep, that was right.
Yes. What do you call the fear of Halloween?
Fear of Halloween. Wow.
Well, acute boring syndrome, deadly pumpkin.
Only one of these is a phobia.
Yeah.
It's
Samhainophobia.
Samhainophobia,
Samhainophobia.
spookyitis,
Acute boring syndrome.
and deadly pumpkin disease. Yeah, like
Imagine being scared of something that sounds like lol nerd. Forehead.
it's gotta be Samhainophobia.
Samhainophobia. Okay. Samhainophobia, go. Yep.
Sorry if there's any minters out there that are Samhainophobic.
Yeah, maybe skip this one. Yeah. Okay. Which one of these would be the most useful if a werewolf attacked you? A gun with a silver bullet.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm doing A, B. A big stick, a cardboard box to hide in, like Solid Snake, a 10-second head start to run away,
Silver
or
bullet.
an A10 warthog. I thought.
Loaded.
I feel like that'd be pretty effective.
With silver.
Yeah, loaded with silver bullets. But yeah, no, it's silver bullets. Okay. Okay. Boy Shucker. When do werewolves transform themselves? 10 p.m. every second Tuesday of the month during lunar eclipses, when there's a full moon, whenever they feel like it. It's full moon.
Yeah.
Isn't Twilight.
We should have vetted this quiz for difficulty.
Maybe.
The turnips.
To be
got
fair,
me, though.
this is on a website for children.
And the pumpkins confused us.
And that adds the list of sentences I never thought I would hear this morning.
The pumpkins confused us.
So yeah, when there's a full moon. All right. What's your verdict?
Oh, full moon. Yeah, I already clicked it.
Yeah. Okay.
Easy.
All right. Victorians were big fans of spooky things, but why did they put bells in coffins? This is actually kind of fricked up. So they could get into heaven easier in case they were buried alive by accident and needed to ring for help. So their ghosts could call for supper, and it made a nice tinkling noise at the funeral. No,
Buried
yeah,
alive.
it's the second one.
Yeah.
But it's just weird. Like, the medical technology wasn't good enough, so they just like, let's to be sure.
Mm-hmm.
You could ring a bell, and So yeah, the top one. Oh no, sorry, the second one. Oh boy,
I
shocking.
don't understand like how you can't like check to see if someone's breathing or if they have a pulse or anything. Like,
Right, unless they did a Nick Fury and had like half a heartbeat every 14 hours, and that's how they look like they were dead.
yeah, but happened quite a bit during that time.
All right, what does Dracula transform himself into? A cat, hat, bat, or rat?
A bat.
A bat.
It'd be really funny if he transformed into a hat.
All right, yeah, a bat. Oh boy. What do mummies smell like? Probably really nice. Incense they were buried with, old feet, wet dog, roast beef. Well, incense, because like, and they made sure their boys smelled fresh before sending them to the afterlife. Anyhow, yeah. So the first one.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, that's a good boy. Oh man. Okay. What do you call a ghost that moves around your house? A poltergeist?
Moves
A
things
poltergeist?
around your house.
Oh, moves. Okay. just hit.
I don't think that's...
Oh, sorry. So it's either a poltergeist, a ghost, a poltergeist, or a pointy beast, which I may or may not have misread in my head.
Poultry ghost.
So, I feel like this is really bad for kids who can't hear words properly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, someone's been calling it a poultry ghost their entire life.
This is also not even. I don't think the defining like qualifications of a poltergeist.
I do. There are like, I think there are definitions in place, but that's only if you're being pedantic about made up see-through people.
A ghost that moves things around in your house.
So yeah, I think it's I think it's a poltergeist or poltergeist. That's like the actual one that exists.
Yeah,
nice. All right,
the actual one that exists.
Like the actual word that exists.
When are we gonna start?
What are mummies?
Minty
What are
Boys
mummies?
Ghost Hunters?
What are mummies wrapped up in? Linen cloth, crepe paper, loo roll, nothing. That's just their pajamas. So, are you saying they don't wear anything as their pajamas? You know what? I'm just gonna ignore it. It's linen cloth, obviously, but
Crepe paper.
crepe paper.
I
mean,
loo
maybe
roll.
loo roll.
I appreciate
It.
you were right on this being a British boy quiz.
Or pseudo French quiz, but no. I mean, you know, you don't if you gotta go when you gotta go. Also, just looking at this photo, that guy's got some big chompers on him. Anyhow, yeah. So linen cloth.
It's unusually large teeth. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's linen cloth.
And those are unusually large pumpkins.
How heavy was twice as heavy as the world's heaviest carrot? Okay, now this one's just kind of stinky.
Yeah, this is one we're probably gonna get wrong.
Right, because it's just I mean,
how heavy was the world's largest pumpkin? 900 kilos, 1 ton. Twice as heavy as the world's largest
metric ton.
Heaviest carrot.
5 foot. Well, that's like the only weirdly specific
kilos.
one.
Yeah.
But yeah, and again, the third one, like, mate. But does that chonker looks like it weighs more than a ton? Or around a ton?
I'm gonna go with the 554. I think that's a good point
Yeah.
about it being weirdly specific. Which one are you gonna go with?
I'll go 554 as well. Yeah, because it's... But yet again, I don't know if a kid's comic book website will try to play mind games with us, but I'll go 554. Nope, it was no.
It was 900.
So, never mind, we have been pranked by Beano.com. Alright.
Go see Beano.
Which one of these ghost stories from around the world is made... Well,
Which one of these ghost stories is made up?
Well, I don't... Unless you're inferring
they
one
mean
of these is
they
real.
mean
Like, as in, the made-upness of it is made up.
they mean which one is not a real ghost story. Like if I Google these phrases, I'll find a ghost story for 3 of them, and the 4th one is just a stupid thing. And I'm gonna assume that Captain Spooky Chops from
West Ruislip.
Yeah.
Whereas, but yeah, I was gonna say like the Manananggal from the Philippines, the Pokong, what?
From Indonesia.
Indonesia, and then
Chuko.
Oh man, I forgot.
From
Chuko?
From Chile.
Chile, the Chupacabra. But yeah, no, I'm guessing it's Captain Spooky Chops.
Yeah.
Unless like they're playing games on us and like the
No, I'm locking in Captain Spooky Chops.
yeah. Okay.
Don't overthink this.
Okay. No, I should. Yeah. Okay. Oh boy, shocker! Yeah, it's fake. What's the only way to kill us? Well, depends what like book you're reading, or game you're playing, or movie you're watching, or role-playing airsoft arena you're in. Feed it cold custard. I mean, unless like the zombie is the 11th Doctor. Cut off its head and destroy its brain. make it watch old black and white movies until it dies of boredom. You know, Laurel and Hardy are good.
Custard
what's
doesn't
the Every
kill
Time a
him.
Bell Rings? That's a good movie. Well, actually, it's kind of boring.
The
last half an
that's
hour of
not
that
boring.
movie is
That's a good movie. It's a Wonderful Life.
It's the one, like the last half hour. I haven't actually watched it, and oh no, I watched it quite recently.
This is the Halloween episode, though.
But yeah, and yeah, back. It is impossible to try to make friends with it instead. This isn't like some weird game where you can romance the zombie. Unless.
I'm gonna guess it's cut off its head or
Yeah,
destroy
'cause
its brain.
that's the general consensus.
That's usually how it works.
Yep, so there we go. What brought Frankenstein's monster to life? What's the name of the author?
Mary Shelley.
Mary Shelley. Yeah, she brought Frankenstein's monster to life. But thunder is in cloud. Lightning, thunder, heavy rain, and alarm clock. Lightning is the actual bolt. Thunder is when it's up in the clouds going. Heavy rain is a good game actually, and an alarm clock is annoying. So I'm
gonna say lightning.
Yeah. There we go. Are pumpkins fruits or vegetables? Well, they're what's it called? Oh, what's the word?
Gourds.
Yeah, they're gourds, which is a type of vegetable.
Yeah,
I guess.
I'm gonna go vegetable.
No, it's a fruit.
VeggieTales threw me off.
But like, hang on. What are the defining factors of a fruit? It's the where the seeds are, aren't they? But no, what are the defining characteristics? It's
probably is something about the seeds.
Yeah, because it's like how bananas are berries, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I guess it's like avocado's a fruit, but
avocado doesn't have like. I guess it's more like a peach and less like a.
It's like a watermelon. Like a tough rind and a gooey center.
Yeah, watermelon's fruit. So,
but yeah, I was bamboozled by VeggieTales and Plants vs Zombies.
Yeah, I'm gonna blame VeggieTales. They have 2 gourd characters.
Yep.
They also have a tomato. It's awfully confusing.
Yeah, and blueberries.
Yeah, and grapes.
Yeah, and
I feel like there's more fruits than vegetables.
Yeah,
or certainly more non-vegetables than vegetables.
Right. Anyhow,
What?
Which famous
Overanalyze
prince?
VeggieTales another time.
Which famous prince was Dracula based on?
Oh.
Prince Charles of, well, it doesn't say which Prince Charles. Vlad the Impaler.
Presumably the one from England.
The currently alive one, or Beast from Beauty and the Beast, which is his actual name.
Or Prince Charming.
Not Prince Charming.
I
have a feeling it was Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah, no, I would have known this even if they hadn't give us a picture of his face and 3
I think
far
I share
less
a birthday with
convincing
him
ones.
actually.
What?
I think I share a birthday with Vlad the Impaler.
Really?
I'll have to look it up. I know I share my birthday with some kind of medieval stabby person that drank human blood.
That would be
and
oddly fitting for Wobbles Day celebrations of upside down
drinking human blood. Oh right, yeah. That's what I was thinking. But you can wonder how he got his name. Right. Yes, Vlad the Impaler. What fruit would you go bobbing for? Oh, apples. I just remember the Snoopy comic where she accidentally kisses Snoopy.
Mm-hmm.
That was funny.
That's in The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
So, sorry, pineapples, apples, plums, or grapefruit. Man, imagine. Actually, I quite like. I think we've talked about this before. My like of very sour things.
Mm-hmm. Would you go
But yeah,
bobbing
no,
for
it's
grapefruit?
yeah, you take a massive bite into it. Actually, then like all the juice would come out, and it looks like you.
It does
like,
say which one would
legend
you
there.
go bobbing for, which I feel like could be taken
as like a question,
like a
but it's like
personal-
more like, yeah,
Yeah.
but it's more like.
what's
Yeah.
traditional. Yeah.
Also, only apples are there. None of the other ones that are mentioned are there.
What? Oh, in this
Again,
in
we-
this like stock photo.
In the
of-
photo, yeah. Again, I'm not going to try to get too caught up in the pictures because they're normally a bit stupid.
No, that's
but-
a grapefruit, I think.
No, it's a blood orange.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, the rind is orange, but yeah, the inside is
Yeah, it's too
red.
small. Anyway.
Yeah, grapefruit would be like, yeah. So yeah, it's apples. And last of all, which of these Halloween movies is made up? Ghostbusters, Hotel Transylvania, Pumpkin Apocalypse 6. Weird how they only had 3 options for this one, but you know.
What? Are you skipping Monsters Inc. for some reason?
Because it's not a Halloween movie.
Oh.
It's
Yeah. It's
like you know, but
that would have been a funny trick question to be the last question.
Right.
Like, and like,
or like a Nightmare. Actually, no, A Nightmare Before Christmas I think is officially a Halloween movie.
it's sort of both.
It's released in October as well. It was.
Do you have a
originally-
favorite Halloween movie?
We'll get back to that. I'll think about that for a bit.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it very much either, but I'm just curious. Anyway,
I'm guessing Pumpkin Apocalypse 6.
yeah, I think it's pretty
Unless,
obviously.
you know, again, we underestimate the mind tricks that this quiz pulls. Okay. Boy Shocker. We scored 17 out of 20.
I only got 16 out of 20.
Alright, because of the onion.
Yeah.
But,
You win this round, Wobbles.
yeah, that was kind of, not good.
No.
But not bad either. So, I feel like it's content.
You know, it's bad enough to where I feel like we need to open up a channel for people to submit quizzes.
Yeah, I feel like it's gone to a point now. Yeah, just get to outsource our labor.
If you got a good
Still
Halloween
looking for an editor,
quiz,
by the way. If you have a lot of time and hate money, then you know, you can just like hit us up. You don't mind. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I'm not saying they have to be handcrafted, but you know,
No,
if there's a quiz out there you'd like to suggest, I think
Right.
the MBD Minty Boys Discord would be the place to do it.
yeah, it's in no, it's always is it always in the description? It's somewhere. It's most probably in the description.
There should be a link in the in the description.
The doobly doo, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that'll be get for guess November.
In the show notes.
Yeah. So speaking of Halloween movies, you mentioned favorites or commenting on Halloween movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I asked that, but I hadn't really prepared an answer myself.
Yeah, I mean, I guess because it's the only like Halloween movie I've seen would be The Nightmare Before Christmas, which is literally a Halloween movie.
Mm-hmm. You haven't seen Hocus Pocus?
No, I don't think so.
The witches and the cat?
No,
I
I like the Summerween episode of Gravity Falls. That's my answer.
The Summerween episode of Gravity Falls.
Summerween.
That's a good
Yeah,
answer, honestly.
Yeah. It's not. That's actually it was a pretty good episode.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
Yeah, I need to rewatch that.
Also, guess here's a joke that the Shrek short. DreamWorks would do those shorts. They did one for Monsters vs. Aliens, Shrek, and they do it for like all of their main franchises, even like Megamind and Madagascar.
I'm gonna say,
but yeah, I actually there were some good Adventure Time Halloween ones were good as well.
I'm gonna say the Halloween Town, the first 2 Halloween Town movies, I should say. I think there were more than 2, but they get kind of even more garbagey. But they're
right.
They're like Disney Channel movies, I think, originally.
Right. Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
So they're pretty cheesy to begin with, but it's like they really go downhill later on.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, Disney ones are always a good, safe one to go for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. There's a fair number of Halloween movies. Probably not as many as there are like Christmas movies, but
right. Christmas movies, like what, like I like Christmas movies. You're sport for choice. Halloween movies, your choices are spoiled. It's interesting how you would think like there are obviously like people are probably saying that the reason I said there's not many because like actual Halloween movies is because people would say that like horror movies are Halloween movies.
Yeah.
Then like I don't think it's just a genre of movie that people always put out around the time of Spookoween, so they can sell more tickets. It's not.
There are the horror movies Halloween that are like actually titled Halloween,
right?
like...
Which are about Halloween. Which I would give those a pass.
Yeah, those get a pass, but I think most horror movies it's like not really anything to do with Halloween.
Right. Like Friday the 13th isn't even close to October. Hang on, what's Halloween gonna be? Is it gonna be a Thursday? I forget. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting though. How there's not that many, because you think there would be lots of lots of Halloween movies. I guess. Isn't Goosebumps based around Halloween? But I don't think it is actually. It's just spooky.
Yeah, I think that would go in the same category as like Ghostbusters, where it's like
right.
It's kind of spooky enough to where people would count it, but it doesn't really take place.
No, what time of year does Ghostbusters take place at? It's just where it is. Ghostbusters does take place in October, doesn't it? Or in...
I think there's like a good amount of time that passes in that movie, so...
Yeah, it is over a long period. Well, yeah, because it's like they're running a business over...
It's been a little while since I've seen it, but yeah, maybe part of it actually does happen at Halloween. I would also believe it if part of it happened at Christmas. I think...
Yeah,
Ghostbusters 2, I think, might...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I remember there's the promotional thing with it's the ghost with the cross, but the ghost is wearing a hat.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
You could make an argument that it's more of a Christmas movie than a Halloween movie, even though it's got ghosts.
Right.
But that's also, like... Yeah, there's, like, Die Hard and Home Alone and stuff that...
Yeah. Well, I've seen Home Alone be edited to look like a horror movie. That's entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, then there is the weird technicality with Die Hard where it's like
takes place at Christmas.
Yeah. But yeah.
Well, if people have feedback of favorite Halloween movies,
oh yeah,
perhaps
either tell us in the comments below if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah, perhaps I'll get to watch some of them if there's any I haven't seen.
Yes, maybe there's a whole like millions. Well, there probably is many, but there's a whole entire, what would be the word, like collection of knowledge that is just of Halloween movies, and there's one person in the world that has it. And they just have like several hard drives just filled with Halloween movie files.
Well, if that person's listening,
you know who to call.
Let me know what your favorite.
Ghostbusters. Oh yeah, that as well. Speaking of scary things, as the time this episode comes out, it will be October 31st, which if you're not, well, which if you're not aware, is when Brexit might actually probably maybe will be happening. We haven't actually talked about Brexit in a while, have we?
No, I don't think we talked about it since old Boris got in.
Did it? Yeah. Oh yeah, no, we were. I think we talked about it near the end of May's term. I don't think we've actually mentioned Boris yet.
Yeah.
For those who are unaware, Boris Johnson was then, after Theresa May was kicked out, Boris Johnson was then voted the leader of the Conservative Party. So, therefore, he was now the leader, the Prime Minister of the UK.
Yeah. Didn't really surprise me. It's basically what I figured would happen.
And he's maybe quite possibly got a Brexit plan for October 31st. But yeah, I don't know. British politics has been crazy the past couple months, like lying to the Queen and scandals involving New York, American supermodels, and so on.
You guys are really outdoing us over here.
Yeah.
We elected Donald Trump, and somehow you're still like, we can have more drama than you. Just wait.
But yeah, right. We're like,
you got your own floofy hair man in the office, and
yeah, you've got like the biggest thing that you've had is vehicular manslaughter, whereas we have lying to Her Majesty the Queen.
Well, there's all that stuff about Biden and Ukraine and stuff.
Oh, and Turkey. But World War III, press here to start aside.
Politics.
Oh boy, it's fun. I just thought, they're talking about scary things.
That is
and,
interesting.
Change is scary.
Yeah.
But
and as of recording this, we don't know, but
we don't know what's gonna happen.
By the time this comes out, it's very possible that you may have finally, after like 3 years, Brexited.
Yes.
So that's a thing.
I'll be, at least we won't be under EU copyright law anymore. So we can, I don't know.
So we no longer have to ask you to store cookies or something?
Yeah.
You can something like that.
Yeah, so you can steal my data and you have to pay for the internet. Not like as in the actual internet.
Right.
Yeah. So maybe if you move to Canada, I think then we're all clear from copyright and or net neutrality laws getting in the way. It's not that far. Well, you go to Mexico, that's probably closer, but yeah.
No, I'm not sure. Like, probably closer, yeah.
But like, I guess logistically closer, and viability would be Canada.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be easier to get into Canada than it would be to get into Mexico.
That is.
And
I could swing by Michigan on the way.
Right. See the lovely city of Detroit, of course.
Right. Of course.
They're flowing with industry and opportunity. But yeah. Speaking of the UK, I did want to note some cultural differences between, Freedom Land and Tea Land. And it's like this completely, like, it's weird, like, seeing the two different attitudes towards Halloween, of how, like, most people I talk to, they're like, well, I'm gonna go shut the curtains and hide, see ya nerds.
Right.
Pretend we're not in, and stuff like that. Whereas Americans will rip down their front wall of the house to maximize the amount of candy they can give out. Yeah.
Has Halloween always been celebrated in the UK? Or was it just an Americanism that is slowly leaking into other countries?
Right, it's an Americanism, like
the whole trick-or-treating, I mean,
Right, like, it was prominent, like, 50 years ago it probably was, because we used to celebrate, like, the national tradition around this time of year would be harvest, and, like, having a festival celebrating the new influx of yummy food.
Mm-hmm.
But as television and media has been slightly more influenced by American sources, Halloween has become more and more of a bigger thing over here. But because it's not exactly been a smooth transition though. So like, yeah, you'll have trick or treating, and then like, or like, there are two groups of people, which is people who want to go trick or treating, and people who want to, who just want to treat it as if it was any other evening.
Mm-hmm.
There's I feel like I might mention here. There's a good song by Jay Foreman about this issue, which it could be in the description. Also, there's a song he's written that kind of relates to what we were just talking about earlier as well. But which I think it probably does a better way of summing up what I think about Halloween. But like, I enjoy like not festivities. I enjoy like the theme and around like Halloween, like spook culture.
Right.
I mean, the memes are terrible. They're just normal memes, but you put a skeleton, so no matter how unfunny you are, you can get 4,000 upvotes. But yeah, I just feel like what I do find annoying is celebrating the entire month of October celebrating Halloween. Like, I feel
You
like
mean
that's
Spooktober?
like celebrating Christmas in July. Like, come on. I will accept like from the 25th onwards, but not as like soon as, like, sometimes it's like as soon as like September 25th rolls around, people are already celebrating
That's
Halloween.
too early. October 1st
Right.
is as early as you're allowed to go.
Yeah,
But
it's like
I'm on board with all of October being spooky.
I don't know. It kind of.
Because people put up decorations in their yards like people do with Christmas lights, you know? It's like, you gotta put those up early so you can get the maximum amount of use out of them before you have to take them all down. Because it's a lot of work.
But like.
You get pumpkins, you get those big blow-up things.
But like.
Yeah.
But
Fake cobwebs and...
no. But. But that's.
Chainsaws.
That's too much.
You get a chainsaw.
No.
There's always one house when you go trick-or-treating. It's got the chainsaw running and you're like, might die, but I gotta get the candy. Here they have the full-size chocolate bars.
But like, why would you want to draw attention to yourself? That would be bad. You need to be a good quiet boy that isn't a frick.
Yeah.
Like, the only people who do that would, like, I don't know, do something like hacky, like drive a BMW or get a tattoo.
Look, I...
No, yeah, I am joking. Like, it's just weird how different it is over here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how
I think that's...
we're much more reserved.
I think it's two things. I think it's one that, like, people didn't grow up with it necessarily.
Yeah.
So it's like...
And it's... But
There-
also it's getting at, like, one time we weren't home, but, like, well, as we were driving down the road, we saw people walking around knocking on doors at, like, 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
On Halloween night, and it's like, okay.
It's a little early.
You know. Yeah. But, yeah. I mean, last Halloween I spent it in the Fair Isle of Guernsey, which is quite nice. Where I did what was quite interesting is that we went in to get a couple of the Halloween decorations on Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got all the pumpkins like a couple days before from like an actual pumpkin farm, which was actually quite cool going to. But then we were able to get all of like the decorations. Like we got like a few bats, and then we got a massive bag of like these plastic spiders.
Did you get them like
and I
really
hid them
cheap?
everywhere. Yeah, it was great.
Because you get them like the day of or the day after. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, like candy, like sweets were really cheap as well.
Because they always
So able to get,
overstock on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're able to get like loads of chocolate. We filled up a bowl of like snacks and stuff, which I may have had quite a bit of because, you know, It was it was in the middle of a small holding in the middle of well, it was actually in the middle of Guernsey. It was right by the coast, but like it was nowhere near any prominent human activity.
Right.
But yeah, no, like that was fun. Like we got these bats and we like strung them up everywhere.
Yeah. But like
But like that was all inside of the house as well.
yeah, I can kind of get it like over there because it's like a lot of people probably didn't grow up with it, so they're not really like in like the holiday spirit, you know?
Yeah.
But it's
People
also
just like, I just want to eat my gourds and
yeah. But
work on my farm.
it's also kind of like, I don't know, you got your stereotypical like grumpy British people that just like don't want to stand in line and not talk to each other and drink their tea, like
Yeah. The whole like, you know,
just be antisocial.
not just like if you bring attention to yourself, you risk being loud and like
And being loud
it's
is the
just
worst
the idea
thing.
of like I think the whole idea is just like everyone's here to do their thing, and you doing something and you not doing your thing could mean that someone else can't do their thing. I think it's just the more it's like politeness to like I guess yeah like courtesy and politeness to a point where it's like, oh no, if I'm too loud I could mildly offend someone, and if I mildly offend someone then who knows what could happen.
Right. Right.
But in America you seem fine with
offending people.
yeah
Yeah.
like the most someone will do to broadcast their political opinion would be put up a sign in their front garden, which they have to remove within 2 weeks. But in America, someone like will have a bumper sticker whilst carrying 14 guns on their back.
Yes, a perfect picture of America.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just weird how
there are a lot of bumper stickers here.
yeah, like
It's kind of tacky.
the most of like a bumper sticker I've seen here is like the See Bike Think Biker, which is a campaign to be like, hey, by the way, don't run over cyclists because they kind of need life. Actually, cyclists are like an incredible weird like subspecies of I think just the human race in general, but they say like is that like seem like they're unanimously grumpy. No matter where you are in the world. But yeah, yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure our cyclist listeners will love that.
Yeah. Apart from the Netherlands, where like I guess people aren't cyclists, they're people, but
It's because everyone's a cyclist in the Netherlands, so it cancels
right.
out.
Well, I was gonna say no one's a cyclist in the Netherlands. Everyone just happens to ride a bike.
Right. It doesn't.
Or everyone is a cyclist in the Netherlands. They just happen to do other things.
Yeah.
Like how, yeah, it's just such a weird like contrast.
But okay,
Because, like-
two things in favor of Halloween though.
Yeah.
One, it's basically the only time of year that like your neighbors will ring your doorbell and talk to you briefly.
Oh, that's
You know,
oh
when you think about it, like
right. Well,
um,
I just like we talk to our neighbors as a
yeah. I mean,
as like a, as
I'm
that's like just like a thing you do here.
I'm sure some
is-
people do, but for the most part, people are very, I think, especially like more modern times, like people are very like, you know, into their phones
Yeah, I guess
and
as
their
well
own
as,
jobs
like-
and stuff, and it's like,
Probably with the presence of like more like high density apartments and stuff, your neighbors aren't, oh man, this is cool, we both bought large pieces of property next to each other and we need to learn how to care and look after this neighborhood. It's more, hello, we both live in tiny boxes and we just so happen to be in the box that's been designated next to this other box. Like, yeah,
but high density.
one time I might
High density, I think you're more likely to talk to your neighbors. just because you can't avoid them. But in like suburban like neighborhoods and stuff, I feel like it's very easy to like not communicate with them at all. I mean, maybe you do, and that's good, and maybe that's even more common over there than it is
I
here.
feel like most of the roads, most of the areas I've lived in, like my family isn't just like, because there are people, of course, like maybe like our next door neighbors we're very familiar with, but we, at least if we see our neighbors around the village, we'll like nod and say hello or stuff like that. But yet again, saying hello is like quite a common thing over here. Like if you're walking by someone at like when there's no one else, saying hello is quite common.
Oh yeah, I mean we have that too.
Yeah,
that is
just like hello.
That is always weird though when it's just like a random person that you don't know. They're just like, hey.
Yeah, hey. You're like, oh, good morning, sir. And I do the respectful nod. But like not in like like the boundaries are like London and stuff, where it's just like there are a lot of people always constantly.
Right. Yeah.
It's only in. Actually, it's even nicer when you're in like really remote areas. Like one time I went on like this hike in the mountains in Wales, and it like, of course, we would walk by groups of walkers and we'd say good morning and stuff like that, and we just come across. I think I looked at his thing and looked it up later, and he was actually like a army engineer who was just training because they do all their army stuff is over there. And that was probably the weirdest like good morning or like a random stranger hello I've had in a while.
Yeah,
probably should have like thank you for your service or something, but you know. Yeah,
but yeah, like I feel like that's a good
I think
kind of
just,
interaction that is like less common these days.
Yeah, I feel like probably either because again, like people living in busier towns, it's less of like a thing to say, like as in, I guess because the only times I really go out now is like either in the early morning to walk my dog, where there's only a few people out, and if you see someone, it's exciting, or like in the evenings where again like less people are out.
Well, I think a lot of it also has to do with just we have the communication technology to make friends that are far away, like you know, us talking like, right now
is a few thousand miles,
and so I can just stay inside and talk to you, and why would I bother talking to the person who lives next to me when we you know, might not have anything in common other than proximity.
Yeah.
But I think it is beneficial, you know, have people show up at your door and be like, hey happy Halloween.
It's healthy human
We're also human people. Yeah. It's like important to remember that.
Yeah. Like Christmas morning, if you go out, everyone says Merry Christmas to each other. Like, I remember one time, actually, we had gone out Christmas morning just to walk to the local shop, I think, just to get some... I think we were either just taking the dog for a walk or getting some... I think we were getting, like, custard or something. And this little girl stuck her head out the window and was like, Merry Christmas! Which I thought was quite cute. But yeah, I get, like, Halloween is, it's like, I guess if there wasn't Halloween, October would just be January. Of like just like a month where everything is just sad because it's sandwiched between like summer, which is like like beach season, or like the season where people do lots of stuff.
Yeah.
And then the winter season.
I guess October would still be like sort of harvesty though.
Yeah, it would because
just normal like fall.
Though my family doesn't, or my community doesn't necessarily celebrate Halloween. My school and stuff have like harvest where you come in and bring in canned food and stuff for charity stuff.
Oh, but speaking of like fall, show / Halloween like movie that I didn't mention, Over the Garden Wall.
Of course, yeah,
that's
a Halloween, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's not too specific Halloween till like maybe the last episode of it, but it is very like
the first episode and
good for like the season of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because one of the main lines is "As autumn colors fall" of the main song.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but the other thing I was gonna say that I feel like is a really cool thing about Halloween when you think about it is like it might be the only time of year that people will go out and buy something with the sole purpose of giving it away to strangers, you know?
Yeah.
Which is like, because even Christmas, it's like you buy gifts for people, but it's people you know usually.
Right. Yeah. Like, but there are like
there are some like charity things and stuff like that.
Like Operation Christmas Child and stuff like that, which is all about giving presents to strangers.
But that's but that's not like a requirement of Christmas,
No.
you know? It's like Halloween, it's
Yeah.
like the whole thing is that you spend money on like random children that you don't know, which is like a very cool like community kind of thing the more you think about it. Like I wish there were more things like that where it's just like, oh, you don't have this thing and you want this thing and I have the power to get you this thing. I don't know you, but here's the thing you wanted, you know? Like,
right.
In this case, it's like children and the thing is candy, but, you know, that same sort of mentality could be applied to a lot of things, and it's like pretty much only exists in Halloween as far as I can tell, because people are usually very greedy and stingy about stuff.
Right. What I was going to say as well is that you guys are also spoiled because you have Halloween closely followed then by Thanksgiving, then Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have a very full-on holidays. I guess the reason probably like Halloween isn't that bit like, as I said, like it's the requiring of something to look forward to during a season or period of time. And I realize, fireworks night is, Guy Fawkes evening is like right after the end of October.
Right.
So like harvest hasn't always it hasn't exactly needed to be a big thing in the past like 40 years due to mass production of goods, but you know we've always had another thing close following, so to not need something to look forward to.
But that's like a very British thing, so we wouldn't necessarily get that over here.
Right, you wouldn't get even though you still have what's it called, Thanksgiving. That's what the fourth Thursday of which November. So that's normally like in the but that's late November. 4 weeks.
So that's
month.
That's a good point. Like you always want something to look forward to, so it's like all of October you're looking forward to Halloween, which is the last day, and then
but
all of November you're looking forward to Thanksgiving, which is like usually later in the month, you know, the last week or so.
But to us, we have Guy Fawkes, and then all of November is kind of like a calm month before the panic of the Christmas season.
Mm-hmm. You just sort of start your Christmas rush early. Which, I mean, Thanksgiving...
So, like, I know someone who they start celebrating Christmas like late November, which, I mean...
Yeah.
I say the cutoff is probably around, at least the late 20s of November, you can start getting ready. So then by December 1st.
Well,
like,
traditionally,
I do have a rule.
I think my family has always put up our Christmas tree on Thanksgiving. So it's basically...
Also, that makes sense as well, because, like...
Yeah, because then it's like you're building
November,
till...
And then also you're... Like, everyone's together during Thanksgiving for you.
Yeah, that's one thing. It's like, everyone's there, so it's easy to do it. But it's also like, all of October, it's like building to Halloween. Then all of November up until Thanksgiving is building to Thanksgiving. And then you put the tree up and it's building to Christmas.
Yeah.
And then I suppose like New Year's.
Right. But,
Halloween is a thing which exists. Should we talk about video games now?
Yeah, sure.
So, another dream I took notes on.
Oh, yeah?
I had a dream about Surefire playing Magic Arena and giving me the play-by-play of what was happening, which I think sums up my recent activities pretty well.
Yeah. Does remind me, like, the first time I ever played Magic, I did have, like, the night after, because I played it quite late into the evening. Which I think I won my first game of Magic, now I think about it.
Probably. I think so.
Yeah. Because I remember me and, yeah. So, yeah. But, because, I just gonna say, I just remember having a dream about Magic the first time I ever played it, and it was, like, a real life... Not real, like, as in it was, I imagined it as if it was, like, an RPG game.
Mm-hmm.
Where, yeah, when you play a card, it would be like the Adventure Time Card Wars mobile game.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. But yeah, anyway.
But yeah, that sounds like a much more interesting dream. No, this is more of just like the Tetris effect, I guess, of like when you've been playing a game too much and you start to see it in your head.
Yeah, or like when you have dreams of like you have lots of schoolwork, but not much time to do it.
Yeah, somewhere
like it's just
somewhere
reflective experience.
More in that area, yeah. But it was just funny that it was like,
because I remember
I wasn't even
in my
dreaming of myself playing Magic Arena. I was dreaming of someone else playing Magic Arena and telling me about it.
But right, because I remember in my like, I guess at this point in my life, my midpoint in life, I remember like
your midpoint
around age 10.
Your midpoint was age 10. Wobbles.
Yeah, that's Huh?
Don't die
like,
at 20.
No, as of current.
Okay, but like, just to be clear, that's not allowed. No.
When I was going through a midlife crisis.
I know you're a doggo, but
actually, I should have died like a while ago if I was a doggo.
Well, you're a long-living doggo.
Yeah, what's 15 times 7 to 17?
Old.
105. Anyhow, right. I remember like between the ages of like 7 and 10 when I put thousands and tens of thousands of hours into Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I did have a few dreams about playing in Minecraft. Actually, I remember dreaming about like VR and Minecraft-esque experience. Minecraft and VR-esque experience. Like I was able to, and I was like in creative mode and I was like flying around.
Isn't that like almost kind of a thing now?
Yeah, it is, yeah. It's a full-on thing now. But what was weird is it was like I was in this weird warehouse and I walked through the door, and as soon as I went through the door, I looked at my hands and I was like, Minecraft. And then it was a Minecraft world, but like there was just this massive wall and there was just a door there. Like it was like the world border, but then there was just a normal door. It was just like floating conspicuously in the middle of nowhere. Of this Minecraft woodland. But yeah, like video game dreams have always weirded me out. So like I've had many a Discord dream as well.
Yeah, I haven't had one recently, but I had some when I first started using Discord.
Right. I think actually... Oh, actually, I just did remember last night I did actually have a dream about Overcooked.
Did you? You dreamed about Overcooked after we played it?
Yeah. Like, it was this weird, like, level where... It actually sounded like quite an interesting idea for a level, where one person was by a conveyor belt and random items would flow through the conveyor belt. And I just remember, you had to pass them through and chop them up. Yeah. But, yeah. I guess it normally correlates, like, there is the whole, psychology of, if you play video games late at night, your dreams are actually, because of the thing in your brain, I guess it's like the imaginative part of your brain that video games trigger, like the fantasy strategy. I think like the level of interactivity with video games makes you dream better. Like you're more likely to have like lucid-esque dreams.
Interesting.
Lucid, sorry.
Yeah.
So that's why I that's probably why I've had many like video game dreams, because it's like
because you're often like playing them before you go to bed.
Yeah, because my brain's like, oh yeah, I'm a man with a goatee with a crowbar killing alien dictator police.
Well, that's just your brain all the time, right? I mean,
Right, yeah, of course. But, yeah, so when you sleep, your brain's like, oh yeah, I did that today. That's what I did today. I single-handedly saved the world.
Mm-hmm.
With the power of cooking.
That Overcooked has been fun though. Particularly that pizza level was great.
That pizza level was pretty good.
For those not aware, I guess, which is probably most people. Although I think I did mention it last episode.
Yeah, you talked about it. We had a discussion about it.
Yeah, there's a program called Parsec, which lets you play like local multiplayer with people online. So it's like it grants like remote access of your computer
to others,
to people watching like a stream of the game so that they can play.
Yeah,
it's for some people it's like had a hard time registering their controllers and like there's some latency issues and stuff. But
because that's what you have with games based on streaming.
Mm-hmm.
You always have, or software's based on streaming. You like there always be like I think like the first time I think I played it with you, like the connection was fine, but I think the last time the connection was a bit choppy. But yeah, that's just all dependent on how their servers are doing, how your Wi-Fi is doing at that point in time.
Right.
So yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
Discord's still freaking, and we still use
But
it.
I'm surprised at how well it was working for you, especially the first time.
Yeah, especially considering how like the distance.
Mm-hmm.
Yet again, it's not that bad. Just like it's
just across the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, because when connecting to East Coast servers, my ping normally averages out about 100.
Right.
But like European servers, it averages out about like 10 to 30. So like it's not that drastic of a difference.
Yeah.
It's not like when
you're not as far
away
as India.
Like the time I accidentally connected to Asian servers on I forgot which game it was. I just couldn't do anything.
Right.
But yeah, no, Parsec's been pretty good.
Yeah.
I want to run I might try run a couple of experiments with some games I have just to see if it will work.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, apart from that.
Yeah, we should try that sometime. I feel like I could see Overcooked being like a MBP kind of game, you know?
Oh, MBP.
Should we ever
maybe
make that project a reality?
Should we ever dust off the... I don't know, yeah.
I mean, MBP is coming to an end.
Yeah, maybe we need...
So, at least, or the, you know, the book we're on. Who knows? What else? Arena, right. Probably part of what's making me dream about Arena and specifically watching someone else play is...
Right.
Found out actually a pretty fun thing to do is in Magic you can just play, you can build a deck and you can like play regular matches, but you can also draft, which is like where you open booster packs and you pull cards from it to try and build a deck with, and then you like do I guess sort of like a little tournament with your drafted decks against other drafted decks, which is sort of more fun because it's you don't have people with like perfect like meta decks. It's far more random.
Right.
But it's also very fun to stream or to watch other people streaming, because if it's like your friend is drafting, because then you can help pick what cards to choose. And I guess it's maybe a little bit cheaty in the sense that like you're playing a strategy game and you're like you have the combined brain power of two people,
right,
to like be like, oh, play this card or play that card. But I don't know, it's very fun, and probably what I'm gonna do a little bit later today.
Yeah.
I think we just have one last game.
Maybe small. I don't know. I don't. So yeah, last episode we talked about Mario Kart Tour.
Yes. It had just come out, and I was just starting to test it.
Right. And then I got it right after. I give it. I'm not the biggest fan of it.
No, it's
got the skill ceiling of Collapsed Bungalow. I feel like I found it too easy after a while, and then they tried to do the thing where, like, the more times you play with a certain cart, you get more points. So then you just always pick that cart and character, because sure, it's a small advantage, but the game is so easy it doesn't even matter.
I wish they would stop with all that, like, mobile stuff. Like,
right, like,
just make a good video game that just happens to be on mobile. You don't have to make...
Right, it's all of... I just felt like the controls were all watered down for common denominator mobile goop.
Well, yeah, controls are tricky, but, I mean, I also, like... I don't need, like, multiple currencies and, like, little reward prizes for opening the app and stuff like that. It's like...
Right,
don't make it just, like, a trash mobile game. Like, it's not necessary.
I feel like sometimes I find, like, Mario Kart 8 on the Switch too easy, but, like, that's more of an enjoyable easy, because it's like, well, I've worked, like, I had to play a lot of Mario Kart to get good at Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, like, a rewarding easy. Like, whenever I play it, I do different stuff to make it harder and harder each time.
Yeah.
And, like, if I get good at the harder stuff each time, that's more rewarding, instead of I played it for a couple days, got really good, and then got bored of it.
I would say that the 200cc is not particularly easy on Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, no, I'm still trying to get around to that. I've only done, like, hard AI with, like, no items.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. That's quite tricky, because, like, that's all then based on stats and skill. But yeah, I'm still in the I'm trying to teach myself how to drive 200cc.
Right.
I think I might need to try change how I lay out my carts, I think, for that.
Right.
Because I normally go for high speed, low acceleration carts, but I probably should go for lower speed, higher acceleration, better grip carts.
I'll be honest, on that game, I just pick the character and the carts that I think look cool, and then I get good with whatever the stats are.
I see.
So I like adjust my playstyle to the carts rather than adjusting the cart stats to my playstyle. But I'm sure that's not the pro strat.
No, I think I always go for the quickest car, which I forget. I haven't played it in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I would have more to say.
Oh, I have a little list of notes here, if you want to get into it. MKT, which I believe you referred to yesterday as Mario Kart Trash Can. Or it was something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't... Ooh.
You sounded much more heavy-handed yesterday when we
yeah, I feel like
about
I
this.
might have been like, I mean, it's free. I
think the frustrating part about it, before we get into all the issues, I think the frustrating part about it is that it has so much potential. It's
right.
Like, if it was a bad mobile game that, like, was just completely bad and no one cared about, we probably wouldn't be talking about it.
Yeah, then, like, whoop-de-doo.
But,
like,
it's Mario Kart, and it's, like, you have all these cool characters and like, all...
They're really pushing it as well.
They're really pushing it, and they have all these...
Like, they're trying to make it seem as it's Mario Kart 9.
Yeah, they have all these other games that are, like, much better, and it's just... It feels like wasted potential.
Right.
For what could have been a really good game.
Right. But, yeah. I'm just trying to think what could be on your list of notes here, and how long it could be.
It's not too long, but should we start running through it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, okay, first off, the turning is pretty bad.
Yeah, I went to drift mode.
I went to drift
even
mode
though
as
that
well,
wasn't-
but I went and tried the other one, just to see maybe drift mode was just the bad one. But no, they're equally kind of terrible. Which I get is kind of hard on a mobile, but I think it could have been done better. It's also frustrating that it won't let you turn all the way around, which like I understand you wouldn't really want to do in a race, but it's just it's I guess one of my main complaints is that there's no way to turn the like smart steering off completely, which is something they added in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe that wasn't in Mario Kart 8 is like this sort of baby mode that keeps you on the road, which is cool, and like my like really little nephews can play with that turned on and actually like play the game, but
Right.
I don't want that on ever, like for myself, you know?
Right, yeah, I always turn that off, like, if there's a less experienced person playing with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the borderless driving is, like... Because I'm going to be honest, I played this game quite a lot, and, it was weird, because it reprogrammed my game on how to play, my brain on how to play Mario Kart. So when I went back to it on the Switch, I played it, last week.
Mm-hmm.
I kept trying to do, because you can, like, on any corner you can get a purple drift, essentially.
Right.
Because you can drift, but then you can still, like, turn left and adjust your drift, and because you bounce along walls.
Yeah, it's like there's invisible walls that will like try and keep you on the track.
Yeah. But what's annoying is you can't do the thing where, like, there's, like, a ramp that's just off the side. You always have to mushroom into those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it won't let you go off the track.
No.
Unless you're like
And normally
mushrooming.
drift boost, mini turbos are enough to get you through.
Mm-hmm.
On some, of course, like the more complex shortcuts.
Yeah.
But even like they were using the basic DS maps though. I say basic, but like they were designed to be less demanding on hardware.
Hmm.
So they were slightly smaller. And it still can't fit. I'll get into like track nuance and everything in a bit, but yeah, it just the boosting I don't know, it just felt like I don't know.
It also does the auto jump thing on all the ramps, so you get the ramp boosts automatically.
I mean, I didn't mind that, but like again, I forgot to do that on Switch.
Yeah, it's not the worst. It's just like I'm like instinctively trying to like tap or something every time I go up a ramp.
Right. Or
and
like
tap, and that's how you use items. So it's
when I did first start, I'd like tilt my phone or but yeah. Again, it's designed for lowest common denominator Joe.
Right.
Average Joe.
But okay, so there's two settings that are on by default, which I didn't even realize were settings at first. I thought it was just how the game worked, but then I found the menu.
Right.
There's smart steering and there's auto item. And
Wait, can you turn those off?
you can turn those off, but turning the smart steering off, it says, hang on, let me look it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab the phone for this because I'm guessing the UI's also gotta have a mention. Let's turn down the volume.
Okay, yeah, if you turn the smart steering off, it says steering assistance won't be as strong if this is off. Won't be as strong. So there's still steering assistance. Because it still
just
won't.
Popped up that I want to mention a bit, but yeah.
It still won't really let you go off the track. It'll keep you like on, but it's a little bit less strong if you turn it off. Like that's so frustrating. Like just don't have that at all.
Yeah.
Just have it
May
be
as well
like
be
a
a
normal
slider at that point.
Yeah, like have it be like a normal Mario Kart game.
Yeah. Again, this is just because they're trying to appeal to it's trying to appeal to people who are like, oh, I recognize the Mario.
Mm-hmm.
But they've never really gotten into like console gaming, so they're too inept. So this is like, might be getting a bit too harsh, but like not as experienced with the controls, so they're going, which I guess makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But you could just play. There is this thing where like we're talking about it and we're complaining, but at the same time, it is a free game. We need to cut it a bit of slack, but still, it feels like it feels like it could have been. Actually, well, if you have like the buying power of like, I guess Nintendo isn't the richest company, but like,
No.
I feel like
But
they'd be able to make a good game, and because they're such a big company as well, they'd be able to get a decent return on it.
yeah, I wish they would continue to do like Mario Run strategy of like just make it a really like actual game, and then have it be like you have to pay for it.
Right, because you can have, like, I've played brilliant mobile games, like,
Yeah.
like there's not the whole, oh, mobile gaming is terrible, bad. Like, a game I play a lot, which is Alto Odyssey, is like, yeah, it's a mobile game where there's only one input, but it's one input that is so, like, changing and dependent on, like you can unlock different characters and they move in different ways. But yeah, I don't know. I just want to note, when you were finishing up talking, I opened the app, and only just now, after going through many different screens, even like, I am now able to interact with the menu.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, oh look, you're in you're in tier 7, whatever that means, and you got this many gems, and daily rewards, and
Yeah, it's all that garbage mobile game
and
stuff.
like
Which
every
just
time I
doesn't need
open
to
it
be
up,
in there.
it's like, oh, we need to download a new update, which I guess it's like fair enough. It's very very early on, but like still, it's it. I don't know. It felt weird. Like most apps just update in the background, but yeah.
I wish they like made it feel much more like a proper Mario Kart game and got rid of all
Right.
that mobile garbage. And then you could charge like $5 or something.
Yeah, of course.
Like I think people would be willing to pay for that if
Yeah,
it
people would be
was,
way willing to do that.
much more on the level of like the Switch Mario Kart, or as close as it can be on mobile. But it's
Yeah.
kind of garbage and like
I wouldn't mind just like if they can make a brilliant Mario Kart game for like the first DS, like a full-on Mario game for the first DS, like a system that's way less powerful than any phone out on the market today. Yeah, I think they'd be able to make like quite a good portable game, but
yeah, I guess the difference is it had buttons,
yeah, I feel like either they would have to.
But
I don't know, it feels like
they could section off like sides of the phone to have like buttons or something like they could.
yeah, like they've made it a vertical game. Make it a horizontal game. Like Mojang have done a brilliant job of making like they've spent ages, like years, perfecting the
mobile version of
the
Minecraft.
like the control panel and everything, and how smooth and seamless that is. But yeah, to be fair, that does have the funding of Microsoft behind it. But
Right.
that's still, and it's had like 6 years on the market, whereas this is barely in its first 6 months.
Yeah.
But I just have noticed as well, like the people who are playing this game and like taking it seriously are the people who don't play like any other form of video game.
I guess, yeah.
Like this is just designed for people who are like, oh yeah, I know what a Mario is.
Yeah, and I guess it could be sort of an advertisement for like the Switch Mario Kart as well, but
And Odyssey.
it's not a good one.
No, it's not. No, they do have a lot of. It just and yeah, there's lots of references to Odyssey in this.
Yeah, but you kind of mentioned like things that work differently from like the more normal Mario Karts
Right, yeah.
that throw you off when you go back to like playing them.
Yeah.
The 2 laps thing is really annoying to me because
Yeah.
in basically all Mario Karts, with a few exceptions for like Baby Park and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, Baby Park is 8?
It's 7
And the
laps.
original Mario Kart, like the first main track, was 5 laps, but because it was a very small track.
Right. But generally, they're almost always 3 laps.
3 laps, yeah.
And I feel like that's a good number. And
Yeah.
I'll do 2 laps, and I'll think, like, okay, this is the final lap.
Right, like someone would overtake me at the last second. Like, okay, well, I'll just get them at the next stretch.
Yeah, but
And I was like, nope.
on the mobile one, I don't know if they decided to make it shorter because it's like they think people
meant
don't
to be
have
like
the attention span
bite-sized.
or whatever.
Yeah, it's meant to be like bite-sized, consumable, on-the-go levels.
But they made it 2 laps, and it still like gets me a lot of times playing it, where I'll be getting to the end of the second lap and I'm in like 3rd place, and I'm like, okay, I got one more lap to like try and pass these people or whatever.
Yeah.
And and then it's like, oh, it's over, and it's like, oh, if I had known it was,
Well,
Yeah.
So the game tries to get you to do more karts depending on what track you're racing on, which makes sense, but like they all offer such, well, from what I could tell, small advantages that there's like no point in picking anything else apart from the thing that gives you the most points. It's as we've both noticed, it's not particularly a difficult game. So if you can get at least like one time I got 6th place and still got like 5,000 points just because. Well, I got sick because I got like hit by a trillion shells near the end.
Right.
But I had played well enough in the first and second lap that I was able to get loads of points.
Or the first lap, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, and then most of the second lap.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because you get points for like
lost.
drifting and things. Like...
Yeah, and even like for going over ramps, or like it gives you points for a lot of things that you probably shouldn't.
I
don't know. It's yeah.
That the whole point system is weird to me.
Right.
Especially since like I don't know, it doesn't really communicate how well you did on the race. Like
no, yeah. Like I got 6th place and still got. See if we can find the race.
Okay, like another thing I have on my list here though is the items, which,
right,
as I did find out later on, the auto item, which is the thing that will like automatically use your item when you get a new item.
Yeah,
that is something that you can turn off.
Yeah, thank goodness.
But the items, you have very little control over them.
Yeah.
Like, unless, I don't know, is there a way to throw things backwards or forwards?
You swipe downwards.
Is that? Okay, I'll have to try that. Because I was
Yeah.
having a hard time, like, directing the banana peels and stuff.
Yeah.
But the triple mushrooms really annoyed
The
me.
frenzies.
Because you tap to use a triple mushroom, and in, like, every other Mario game, when you have 3 mushrooms and you go to use an item, you use them one at a time, so you can like trigger them at different points, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and this one, it displays as 3 mushrooms like it does in every other Mario game, but when you go to use it, it just triggers all 3 of them back to back.
Consecutively.
Yeah. Which is like, it's just poor game design to like...
Right.
There's visual cues to things, and it's like, oh, this is how this works.
Yeah,
but then
at that
in
point
this
you may as
game,
well just have a super strobe or something.
Right. Yeah, like, it's just... You can't use things from previous games based on, like, the nostalgia, but then not have them work the same way.
But the issue is, I wonder, you're going to have people who are going to play this game and want to play the console game, but then are going to be like, what? Wait, what? Are going to think it's way worse because of...
They're going to be confused when things work differently, but I don't think anyone's going to play the console and think, oh, this is worse.
Right, well, yeah. No,
they might think
worse.
that they're a lot worse at it, and that's probably true.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. It's
I also like. It's very hard to not get items.
right.
Because in normal games you can kind of miss the item boxes either by going into the grass or going between the two boxes.
Or like someone picks them up just ahead of you, and it's like I think it's like a couple second delay.
Right, yeah, someone gets the box and you're right behind them, so you don't get it.
But in this one,
Yeah, in this
no
one,
delay.
it's no delay. It's like very difficult to
The boxes
go
may as well
past
just
one.
be like, it may as well just be a marker on the floor.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if this was something that changed in one of the updates, but I remember playing it earlier on in the release and gliding over some boxes, and it still registered me as getting an item.
I think I've had that as well. Yeah.
I was trying to replicate that this morning, and I couldn't get it to work. But
Yeah.
that might have been something that got changed.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I think originally it was behaving as if it was literally just like a marker that once you pass the certain point on the track, it gives you an item, like regardless of if you break a box or not, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And yeah, the box like respawn is like instant. So
Yeah. I would love it if you could just do the I found the challenges were quite entertaining.
yeah, see that's I was gonna say that's actually like something again that shows like this game actually had some potential. Like
That's
I
what
think,
kept me going. Was like if they just had a mode that was just like challenges, that'd be great. And like this, they can have like just a separate competitive if you want to do the whole points thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that would be a better designed game if there was a separate tab at the top that was just challenges, just single player challenges.
Like the one where you had to like get the Goombas, and that was good. I was gonna say as well, when we were oh yeah, so when we were talking about it, oh yeah, we should play together. There is the only way you can interact with your friends is a number.
Mm-hmm.
You see how they did this week, and that's it.
Yeah, which is not great, especially for a Mario Kart game. Like, that's not what people want.
Yeah.
And I've just sent you an article.
Yes.
I guess the one thing we haven't really talked about yet relating to this game.
Which I was only like aware of until because I haven't like given this game too much research, but yeah, I think I vaguely knew about this. But,
right.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard about this either because like I was just playing it and doing my own research, testing things.
Right. I was just playing it. I did get into the whole like you just go through like a point where like my journey to school most mornings is quite boring, so that just mindlessly playing Mario Kart did clear up the monotony.
Mm-hmm.
In a way.
Yeah, and I did think about this as I wonder if this is a thing, and I tried playing it while like disconnected from the internet to see if it would still if it would still let me play, and it didn't. It would complain, be like, "Oh, you lost connection" or whatever.
Yeah, but it always says, like, when it's downloading one of its many updates, oh, you can play offline. Like, oh, that's a cool idea. But no, you can't, there's no other way you can do that, apart from, of course, the challenges. But
the thing is, it's not real people that you're playing against.
Yeah.
It's bots.
Huh.
So
that would explain why you would get Japanese names in the middle of, like, when you're, supposedly collected to European servers or American servers.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like it's the names make it look like it's online multiplayer with like real humans because it gives all of them names. It's like, but I was also wondering about that because I mean I started with Peach and Toadette as character options. I don't know what you started with.
Bowser and Toad.
Yeah.
And I've just stuck with Bowser.
I've just stuck with Toadette.
There would be like I was bargaining on there being like an interest, like the meta game of the stats and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You generally want to go for heavier characters.
But
yeah, of course, I realized this wasn't proper Mario.
Okay.
Cut.
That was something I was wondering about though. Like, did everyone start with the same characters? And if so, why is there such variety in like the character choice of the other players? But
Right, like someone have like the super rare characters and it's quite a low level race.
hmm
I also noticed, like, I guess that, like, now I think about it, it kind of makes a lot of sense. When you restart every week, it felt like even those in the lower leagues, surely I would still have a lot of competition. I guess there is the tier system, which I think is how they sort it out. But it's still, I guess it explains why you're not always constantly up against like really tough competition.
hmm
You're against very easy bots.
Yeah. I'm suspicious. Like, I think they drift into banana peels when you're behind them too. Like,
Right.
because I was playing this morning and I was in third place and there were like two people in front of me, and they both hit banana peels so that I could pass them. Like, I'm not sure human players would behave that way.
Yeah, right. Even like the console bots on easy wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Oh, I have one last note here
Ooh.
to
Yep.
wrap up this discussion. And I guess I'll say I think one of the best things about having a video game like Mario Kart is that it creates something that like everybody can relate to.
Yeah, of course. Like
And-
it's been quite nice. Like, yeah, even though I've disliked it, it's been nice talking to people about this game. Like, I would straight up tell them, oh yeah, before we have this discussion, I just want to say I slightly dislike this game, but I still play it.
Yeah. But I mean, like,
But it's been nice to talk about, like, oh yeah.
well, I don't mean Mario Kart Tour. I just mean Mario Kart in general.
Right, in general. Yeah, like, it feels like it's...
Like, the idea of, like, a blue shell kind of
Yeah.
transcends, like, all the Mario Karts of, like, oh, yeah, I understand what that is. Like, that's the
Like,
worst.
I've seen many, like, even the most reserved and humble men swear at blue shells.
Mhm.
Even the most courageous warriors fall to the pressure of getting a coin when you want a horn.
Right. And I would say Rainbow Road is right up there on, like,
Yeah.
classic video game, like, shared suffering
Yeah.
across generations because it's in all the games. Different.
Yeah, and
variation.
even in deluxe, it has the new version, the N64 version, and like even I think the NES version,
Yeah.
like all modernized.
Yeah.
So it's three generations of suffering in one.
hmm And I think Rainbow Road on Mario Kart Tour gives the complete wrong experience.
Yeah, it's too easy.
It's like way too easy. It's like one of the easiest ones, and
the bit where the road splits off and there's the two thwomps.
yeah,
The jump in the middle, you're in the actual game. You can only really make that jump if you use a mushroom.
right.
On tour, you can just drive into it and you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And one of like the worst things about Rainbow Road is how like there's no walls,
yeah, of course. Like,
so you're
yeah.
constantly falling off the track.
Yeah,
If you don't like make the turns right.
yeah, of course.
But
if you're a
in
big
Tour,
stupid.
like there's the smart steering, which you can't even turn off completely. So
Yeah.
like I was playing Rainbow Road earlier with the smart steering supposedly turned off,
Right, and you still couldn't fall off.
and I just let it drive straight towards the edge of the cliff without touching anything, without even attempting to turn, and it just like made me bump into an invisible wall and then sort of like drive along the edge and like turn and like continue racing without me doing anything. It's like
Yeah,
that is, if children grow up thinking that's what Rainbow Road is, they're not gonna be able to relate to the rest of
yeah.
the world.
My first time playing Rainbow Road, I didn't even complete one lap.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the experience you're supposed to have.
I
is
cried. God damn it.
You fall and you die, and everyone else beats you, and you're a loser. and you have to get better.
Oh no. Yeah, like the way I learned about Rainbow Road, like the way I learned video games weren't always fair was Rainbow Road and it's on the wheels. Rainbow Road and what is it? The toadstool thingy. Yeah, I couldn't drive in a straight. Like I didn't get the controls yet, so I would always drive off the edge and give up.
Right.
Because I didn't get drifting or tight turning or anything. Because I was and that I learned the hard way that Mario Kart is an art form.
It's just like it. It leaves something to like
be desired or further.
Yeah, it like aspires. You can like aspire to be like good at the game and be like, oh, one day I'm gonna be able to do Rainbow Road without falling off a cliff.
Yeah.
And it's like in this one, it's like your dog can do Rainbow Road without falling off the cliff. You just put the phone in front of him and it'll drive itself. Like there's no challenge.
Get like a treat to make it like so he steps on the phone occasionally just to guide the. I have fallen off a couple times. That was just because, again, of the triple mushroom. Because I would only expect one mushroom to go off, but then all three, so I couldn't corner properly.
Right. But the thing is, you have to basically like mushroom off the cliffs if you want to go off the cliff.
Yeah.
Or use the gliding. You can do.
Yeah.
I did the gliding.
Hit in midair.
Just to make sure it was possible. I was like on like Neo Bowser City or whatever.
Yeah, that was the one I fell off. That was there was one corner on Neo Bowser City where it won't stop you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the second to last corner before the end. And yeah, the only times I got knocked off, it was like a red shell would hit me, and I was already quite close to the edge, so I'd get spun out and then fall down.
It brings you back very quickly too, but that's something I've said about Mario Kart.
You don't have to do wait for Deluxe to go
as well,
pick you up. It just goes the screen goes black, comes back in, and there you are.
Yeah.
Like one time I was first place, fell off, still in first place.
Yeah. At least Deluxe has Lakitu. He's fast. He doesn't set you back nearly as much as Double Dash. But
no.
But at least he's there. This one is just does the little circle thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also the startup, you just have to hold it on too.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas most other Mario Kart games, the whole nuance and the knack of it is getting it as close to the end of the 2 seconds as you possibly can.
I guess.
Was it?
Double Dash you hit right at where it says go, because you have a second person to kick off.
Right. Yeah. That makes because Double Dash that makes sense.
Mario Kart 8, I think
it's the same as Wii, where you hold it down.
Yeah, you hold it down around 2.
The quicker but I think
this one is very forgiving. I think though.
Yeah, it's as soon as 2 begins.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've also done it where I start pressing it right away, and then I let go, and then I start pressing it again, and it'll accept it. It'll give me the boost.
Oh yeah, I think on Deluxe, if you do it perfectly on 3 and then 1, it'll let you do it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you have to have a certain amount.
Yeah, because I think different games have always done it differently, so I think it's probably just to do with them trying to make it one comprehensive single thing.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just disappointing more than anything, I think, because it could have been a cool thing, and it's
so we've been 3 weeks now,
and to not even have multiplayer with other people on Mario Kart, it's just what's the point? I think if you're not gonna have multiplayer,
and not even
and you're not gonna make
strangers multiplayer
a functioning game then the challenges,
just do the challenges.
Lean into the one thing that is actually decent. Did you have anything else to talk about?
I don't think so.
Well,
I guess, I don't know. It's just sorry I had to end this episode on a downbeat sad boys review of Mario Kart, but Well,
if you're keeping up with the MBBC, the last of
Yes, the
The-
last.
Hitchhiker's Guide episodes will be following this. So
Yes, so.
we haven't quite decided what we're going to do after this, if we do another book.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll figure that out between now and next episode.
Yeah, but yeah, it's been a definitely a lot longer episode than we probably first intended it to be.
It's the Halloween special.
It's the Halloween bonanza. All right, see you around, Minters.
Yes. Have a good Halloween night.
Woo!
Perfect.
Yeah. Chapter 32.
So they get away from the mice.
Yeah, and as the klaxons are just going ape heck, screaming emergency, whatever it has it been. Wait, has a klaxon been an established thing, or are they? But yeah,
I don't remember. I don't think so.
So okay, that's just an interesting thing. So yeah, it's like everything is something in section 8A, all like hands on deck essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And then the mice just like they're kind of just scurrying around the broken fragments of their. Oh yeah, we never explained they have like glass like transports. Isn't it just like a whiskey glass that can hover?
Yeah. But
like all this over just like a hunk of flesh.
yeah, found 2 pounds of brain or whatever.
Yeah, and then they're quickly trying to come up with a good idea. And it's like, how many roads must the man walk down?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it sounds genuine enough, but again, vague enough that no one will look into it.
Because there's like they were trying to think of like questions, since they're not gonna get the brain, and it's like 6 times 7 is like too like literal and like boring.
Yeah.
It's like not much to talk about there,
And was there another one? Oh yeah, what's yellow and dangerous?
which like doesn't match the answer of 42.
No.
It's just as confusing as if you just gave the answer by itself, you know.
Right.
So like, if not more confusing.
Yeah.
How many roads must a man walk down is like, yeah, like that could be taken literally, but it could also be like a metaphor. Like there's a lot
Like
of,
how many paths in life must you take?
yeah,
How many steps to success or something
yeah,
like
like
that.
how many different like stages of your life, or like what, like there's a lot of ways to like interpret it.
Yeah.
That leaves like lots of room for them to just like
Yeah.
be like BSing on talk shows.
Yeah. But our 4 heroes are legging it, and they panic and go and hide in a computer bank.
Right.
As
Yeah, because
the police like are raiding a planet.
yeah, these 2 cops show up and they're like trying to get Zaphod to come out.
They're very r/I am very smart cops.
Yeah.
Um,
They're also like we don't want to use violence, like we don't condone violence or whatever.
we're liberal cops.
But they're like repeatedly like shooting at them and like talking about how they might have to blow up some planets.
They're like, we'll blow up this entire planet, and then maybe if there's some on the way, just maybe.
Maybe a few others just for being nearby. But they're like, yeah, we really don't want to have to shoot you.
Yeah, I'm not the type of cop that like shoots people and then brags about it to my friends. I'm the type of guy that like shoots a guy and then apologizes to my girlfriend profusely. And then everyone's like, "Oh, well, I've written many novels. None of them are published." So you
So I'm not in a great mood. Yeah.
And then they're like, we don't want to shoot you, but we're just gonna arrest you and then beat you up a bit, but not too much.
Very, very strange characters. It's also a little bit weird that they're like pinned down, but they're also just having this full like conversation with these guys.
Whereas, Zaphod's like, I kind of liked it when they were shooting.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, come on, just listen to us. It's like, why? It's like, because it's gonna be intelligent and quite interesting and humane.
This chapter was quite interesting and humane.
Yeah, and very intelligent. We leave our heroes where the computer they're hiding behind is slowly just melting as everything is falling apart and they're all just terrified. Chapter 33. Chapter 33. I guess as a minor recap, they're currently trapped behind a computer as it's being blasted to bits by
The cops that came to get Zaphod.
police.
Yeah.
And then suddenly just kind of stops after hearing like a weird like gurgling / like gasping noise.
Right.
So Ford goes out to see what is going on, and he just sees the two cops lying supposedly dead on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
He puts his hand on on their guns, checks their vitals, and yep, they are dead. Or to put it as the book put it, after prodding around a bit.
Well, see, this is like a classic, like an early
Right.
Doctor Who kind of like, yeah, they're pinned down and they're getting blasted at the end of the last chapter, and like,
Yeah.
and then suddenly the next chapter it's just
At
like,
the-
oh, and the thing that was shooting at them just died randomly.
Yeah. Whereas in the radio show, they actually just straight up get exploded. In the radio show, what would be the end of chapter 32, the narrator's like, at the beginning of the next chapter, you will hear this noise, and then it's an explosion. And then at the beginning of the next chapter, you hear that explosion.
Mm-hmm. Or
But we can
next
talk about
episode or
I think
whatever.
we can bring that up later on.
Yeah. I need to listen through the radio show all the way.
Yeah,
That would be.
the radio show does have some. Yeah, again, we'll talk about this more in later on BBCs, but yeah, there are some like interesting differences in the gags. But yeah,
Mhm.
so they're like, "Oh, this is weird."
So Zaphod and Ford grab their guns.
Yeah, they pick up the dead Popo guns, and they jump onto a space. Right, yeah, the cops were Blagulon Kappa, which are like a methane-breathing life form, and for some strange reason, their backpacks were with like a computer chip that was supplying them with their their methane was like destroyed. And they're like, that's weird, because they normally have backups on their ships.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So yeah,
So, yeah,
it's
you're
very
saying.
very mysterious. And then
Yeah.
on their way out, they find Slarty Bart Fast left his air car.
Yeah, and it just says, this is probably the best button to press.
Yeah, left them a little note.
And it's like, yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
And that will lead into the next one.
Chapter 34. So, they're now on the air car, which is going at R17 through the, like the tunnels that led to this, dining area.
All right.
And apparently R is like a measurement of velocity, which consists of like 3 main points, which is health, mental well-being, and not being more than 5 minutes late. So R17 is quite an arbitrary figure, like an arbitrary measurement, I suppose, because it's sometimes
Yeah.
it's unknown because the third of the trifecta is normally unknown. So, but they finally get back to the Heart of Gold, and it's like early morning, and they actually see the Blagulon Kappa police craft, which
Is parked right next to them,
yeah,
and it seems to
And-
have gone completely dead.
yeah, and it's I quite like this, like the letters of varying degrees of size and unfriendliness, which is very greatly contrasting to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, saying "Don't panic" in big friendly letters.
Mm-hmm. So nobody seems to care about the ship really, except for Ford, who
Yeah,
is just curious and goes to investigate the dead police ship.
and he stumbles across Marvin lying face down in the mud,
Mm-hmm.
and Marvin's like, "Don't worry about me, I'm fine." Or not, well, I'm not fine, but I know how everyone hates me.
Yeah. So, as it turns out, Marvin was getting really bored, and
So he
went over to the police ship and explained his worldview to the ship's computer.
and it promptly killed itself.
Yeah. So, I guess it turns out Marvin saved them unknowingly.
Question mark? Yeah. So, Neil hop in the Heart of Gold, and that's where our chapter leaves on.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Where the chapter leaves off.
Mm-hmm. Not any other state of being. Chapter 35, the final chapter. As they're going in the simulated nighttime of the Heart of Gold, Zaphod is trying to make sense of everything under the small palm tree, which I guess is from when, the whole whale and, was it Petunias? Yeah, it was the Petunias incident.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he does this by slamming pangalactic gargle blasters down.
Right. Which he invented.
Yeah. Ford and Trillian are discussing life and matters arising from it, or, just talking in general. And Arthur's just kind of doing, like, the whole hunched in bed reading.
Reading the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah. And he's like, well, I'm going to be here, so I may as well just, like, do stuff.
Right. Gotta learn something about this galaxy he's now living in.
Yeah. Well, he's always lived, right?
Well,
he's never lived outside of Earth, I guess. So I guess, he's... And he reads an entry about the history of every major galactic civilization.
Right.
And how it goes through 3 distinct phases, which is...
survival, inquiry, and sophistication.
Also known as how, why, and where. So, it goes from how can we eat to why do we eat, and then where shall we have lunch? But as soon as he reads that, Zaphod asks him if he's hungry, and Arthur's like, yeah, I could eat. Well,
Zaphod sets course for the restaurant at the end of the universe.
Indeed. And that, my friends, is where we leave off the final chapter.
Purely coincidental. The next book is titled The Restaurant at the End of the Universe.
Yes, strangely enough.
In this trilogy of 5 parts. That's the last chapter.
So, cool. Yeah, this episode won't have a voice, like an opening, because we didn't plan this far ahead. Episode 36, Epilogue. We're doing a general overview / review / summary
/ tribute / epilogue.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's what this. It's like it's a lot of stuff.
We're tying up loose ends.
Yes, essentially. So, yeah.
So we successfully read all of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
With
the first book of
the
trilogy.
Primary phase. Yeah. It took us 9 months.
Was it that long?
I think 9 months. We started New Year's 2018. The epilogue is now going to be released. Yeah. About 9 months later. So yeah, that's...
I thought we started, I think we started January.
Yeah, well, yeah, we started January, I think, yeah. But we talked about it December. But yeah, I think, January is when we properly started, actually.
In any case, less than a year.
Less than a year. Which was our goal, question mark? So yeah, that was... We were well within our goal. So yeah, kind of still thinking if we should do another book or put the creative efforts of MBBC into another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or other such things.
Right.
But
how did you find it?
Yeah, it wasn't too hard of a read. It was just, but yeah.
Oh yeah, the book was great. I felt like it was interesting. I don't know if I've ever
I don't think I've read I think it's the one a very good book. I say one of the best books I've ever read, but as in it was good at telling jokes.
Mm-hmm.
I've normally read comedy books in the past, that one not very good at telling jokes. The jokes were more basic pun types, but these were quite subtle, dry humor.
Yeah.
I guess because it was a Radio 4 radio show, that the humor is a bit more, I guess, refined for the general British population. So it would be a more dry and subtle.
Right. I think the humor translates really well into written form
Yeah.
because it was a radio show. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to rely on any visuals for, like,
Of course,
jokes
yeah.
to be funny.
Like I think I've heard this. People always say this like when you listen back to audio things of comedians, and they're like, "See, for those listening at home, that was funny because I pulled a face."
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, that doesn't translate well. But this definitely worked quite well.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But I think it was an interesting experience, like, talking to you after every chapter and, like, really analyzing stuff.
Breaking down the dialogue, interactions. But yeah, and the characters were likable for the most part. Even, like, the supposed bad guys were quite nice. And yeah, I'll say bad guys. They were just people that wanted to take Arthur's brain for money.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they were quite enjoyable characters as well. But yeah, we talked about the radio show, and the radio show is actually quite interesting in comparison to the book. Like, it's relatively the same. Like, some of the jokes change. Like, when we're introduced to Ford, the radio show is like, in approximately 30 seconds, we will meet Ford as he comes and says, "Hello, Arthur," which is quite a funny bit. Or the ending of the book is completely different. As in, the end of the radio show actually cuts in kind of into the beginning of the restaurant at the end of the universe.
Right, which is... So it just goes into the second book, probably.
Yeah. So instead of them being like, "Oh, let's go there," the computer they're hiding behind explodes, which I guess the explosion was powerful enough to send them through time and space into the restaurant at the end of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all kind of weird stuff happens there. But yeah, that was a big difference. But also, like, yeah, it was quite nice hearing the jokes that you've read, like the wristwatch, the recurring hatred of wristwatches. Electrical wristwatches. That was quite funny.
Yeah, I guess the time-based jokes is, like, the one kind of joke a radio show can do that doesn't really translate to a
like referring back to a previous episode, like
or just saying, like, in about 30 seconds Ford's gonna
of course
say hello.
Right, yeah,
because it's like you don't know how fast the reader is reading it. You can't say in 30 seconds.
That only works in the radio show.
Yeah, it doesn't. At least it doesn't work quite the same.
One of the times I listened through it I would actually, whenever the narrator said that, I would start counting.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually, like, very accurate, which makes sense. But yeah, it was all quite well done. I mean, it was written by Douglas Adams. He's written quite a few things. He directed Doctor Who for a hot minute, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he was
was it?
Chief script editor or whatever. Tom Baker.
Yeah.
Tom
Baker,
I was gonna say, in the mini-series of Hitchhiker's Guide, Peter Davison, who's the doctor that came after Tom Baker, plays the food at the restaurant at the end of the universe.
Right. Oh yeah.
So that's a fun piece of trivia, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, it was overall a very good book. Yeah, like the actual, like, literacy, literal devices used were quite good. Like the whole, like, weird ways of describing things was quite was like very clever. Like the floating in a way bricks don't, and there was another one. Oh, it was Arthur guessed wrongly. That was quite a good one as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, this was enjoyable. I'm sure we'll probably do more MBC in the future, but
yeah, we just need a book.
But it's just a matter of when that may happen. But stick around. There will probably be more of this.
Yeah.
Or let us know if this is something that you enjoy.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah.
Yeah, I guess you found out some sad news as we're reaching the end of the book.
Yeah, so I think October 4th or 3rd, Stephen Moore, or the voice actor of Marvin in the original show, and I think he also was the robot in the miniseries.
Yeah, he did the voice of Marvin in the radio and in the miniseries.
and he did loads of other stuff for the BBC. He passed, and we just thought, we would put this here as a small little tribute to someone who was quite dedicated to not just Hitchhiker's Guide, but also just entertaining millions of people.
He was in an episode of Doctor Who as well. Yeah, I'm looking.
Yeah.
He has done quite a few things with the BBC.
Yeah, he was in a couple other shows as well, but he was like, I think on the eulogy that the BBC do, because they normally do that for actors and such who have passed out, like he was one of like the busiest people, voice actors for the BBC, because he was just doing quite a few things.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes sense, like they have like just a lot of actors that they can like, oh, you can do this and this. Just because of how they're... Yeah, we thought we'd just put this here. It would make sense to do it right at the end of the tying up loose ends and overall final statements about the book. So yeah. But I think this has been a fun little journey we've gone on together through how many pages? About... Well, our books are differently paged. 129 pages. Mine ends on, I guess, redacting the... Yeah. So 129 pages of stuff. Yeah.
Wait, I'll get you a page count. I'd say that counts as a page, because probably most chapters end with pages like that. Mine says 143, which is disappointing, because it could have been 42. The foreword and stuff. Should we just have the audio fade out at this part where we're talking about page numbers? Yeah, that really font, like we're an old movie. Should it say the end, or should it say like La Fin or whatever? Or just Finn, that's right, yeah.